Don't laugh, Darcy. I know this is where we're at.
But I think us always talking about like where we're at in the writing process is a really good way to like be more in the moment with like our information. Like it's less did all this research and more like I'm in the thick of it.
Yeah. This is our practical application of what we are currently experiencing and doing, and not theory. It's like in the trenches versus schoolroom kind of vibe. Yeah. So if you are a listener who is working on some sort of flashback portion, pacing of, I don't know, time jumps, flashbacks, all that fun stuff, that's where we're also at. So yay, we're in the same boat together.
Yay.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Untitled Work In Podcast. I am your co-host, Lauren.
And I'm your co-host, Darcy.
And today we are talking about where we're at again, which the topic of that is going to be flashbacks and time jumps. Don't laugh, Darcy. I know this is where we're at. Anyways.
But I think us always talking about like where we're at in the writing process is a really good way to like be more in the moment with like our information. Like it's less I did all this research and more like I'm in the thick of it.
Yeah. This is our practical application of what we are currently experiencing and doing, and not theory. It's like in the trenches versus schoolroom kind of vibe.
Yeah. I think it's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah. So if you are a listener who is working on some sort of flashback portion, pacing of, I don't know, time jumps, flashbacks, all that fun stuff, that's where we're also at. So yay, we're in the same boat together. So yeah.
Yeah, flashbacks were always something too, like they always stress me out a little bit when I've been writing, because like in the past you always see everybody always like has all these things online about like the best way to go about it, how to do it, like, and you get like these little videos and stuff on social media, and it's always just like, okay, so how then do I do it? Because all of these say don't do it.
No, that is true. I feel like there's this like not taboo, but like this like negative view of using flashbacks, or even like, time jumps especially. It's probably just because, not just, but it is probably like in part because of them not being done really well. Like I think there's probably a lot of examples of people being frustrated with the way it was done, versus like really embracing and enjoying it. It's kind of like a gimmick. Like a gimmick, when it is done for the purpose of enhancing the story, is a well done gimmick. But it feels gimmicky because when it's done well, then everyone wants to do it, and so everyone starts ripping it, not realizing that the reason it worked and is now becoming a gimmick is because it was needed in that portion of the story. And so it's like, I look at it from like a film and TV perspective, like technically color is a gimmick, technically audio is a gimmick, 3D is a gimmick. Like when film started, it didn't have color, it didn't have audio. Like those became industry standards because people saw that it worked really well. It brought the story to life better, and so they wanted to use it. 3D became this massive gimmick because it was used really well in certain movies, and then everyone was like, well, people want 3D, so we're just gonna slap it on this rom-com. And people are like, in what world does a rom-com need 3D?
Yeah,
so
I forgot about the 3D like takeover that happened there for a little while.
Oh my gosh, it was wild. Like when it was done well, I was like, come to me. Like I want to touch it. Like, but when it wasn't, you were just like, okay.
Right. And then like now you go back and you watch all those like old movies and stuff, and you're like, this was supposed to be 3D.
Right. Yeah. But I think that's kind of the same realm of like flashbacks and time jumps.
Right.
We are dealing with flashbacks and time jumps in ours actually from, I think, a more interesting standpoint of like, we're doing it in the beginning of the book. And I think just from what we've hashed out, it's only going to be the first few chapters of the book. But I don't want to spoil too much. So maybe I'll let you kind of like guide the conversation, because I feel like I need like somebody to like, nope, don't say anymore. Stop.
Just like I reach over into your screen and my hand just
like I need like a Benedict Cumberbatch to be like babysitting Tom Holland, kind of like nope. And blah 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 blah.
Well, I think we've talked about, like, how we're starting the book, a few times. Not, like, in depth, of course. We talked about, like, the hangout that we were gonna do,
Mhm.
with the start of Unholy Vows. But the really fun thing is we were actually originally, it was gonna be originally, the first chapter was fully a flashback. Like, the entire chapter was just a flashback, and you
Mhm.
don't know it until you hit the
It
next
ends.
chapter.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, until the next chapter, you're right.
Yeah, so you wouldn't know it was a flashback at that point, and that was how it was originally gonna be.
It's almost like a prologue at that point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which, like, those are super common. That's an excellent way to start a book. I've many of
Mhm.
my own personal projects on the side that I work on. I have those happen just to give you, like, a really vague, fun sense of, like, the story.
Yeah, it's
Um,
almost like a prologue is needed for, like, stakes and for, like, initial world building. So it's like
yeah.
the reason that you should it's almost like the why. Why this book now? It's like, why this story now? You should buy into this story because all of this craziness happened before we introduce you to the actual main story kind of a thing. So
Yeah, the issue that you run into with, starting a book like that, especially if you're doing it as a chapter instead of just, like, a really short prologue, because the prologues are generally, like, 1 or 2 pages, like, they're not
mm.
super long,
Oh,
but the
man, I've
issue
read
you
some
run
long
into.
ones.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
That's
There's
kinda
one that
cool.
comes to mind that was like it was a full chapter, and then the story started this is not a good plug for it, and I, like, was bored by the 3rd page of the 1st chapter because I was like, "Oh, all these characters," and then they all died, and I was like, "Huh,
Oh,
alright,
wow.
cool." Just
I
bad
guess
plug.
I guess The Cruel Prince does its own sort of chapter at the beginning. It's not a long chapter, it's like a couple of pages, and then
Okay.
chapter 1 is literally, like, 1 line, which is the coolest thing ever. I love that.
Oh,
It's short.
wow.
It's just 1 line on a page, and then it goes into
Okay.
chapter 2, but
Oh,
it
weird.
sets ugh, I'll
Yeah.
have to show it to you sometime because the way it sets up the world is, like, it lists basically, like, I think, like, the Fae world, like, 3 things about the
Mm,
Fae world, and it
mhm.
just, like, instantly puts you in the mindset. I don't know how she does it, but it's
Okay.
beautifully done.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, yeah, but, so the issue you run into sometimes, though, when
Mhm,
you do, the before in a prologue or a chapter, is
mhm.
that it can then slow your book down when you start the next chapter.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
So, with Unholy Vows,
No spoilers.
um
I'm not gonna reach across and be like
yeah, you're gonna
Yeah, exactly.
um, so with Unholy Vows, the cool thing that we're doing is, it's sort of a time jump and flashbacks, like, intermingled with each other. It's
Ye
because 'cause we're jumping back and forth between 2 time periods within the
Yes.
story,
Yeah.
um, but technically, they're flashbacks because only one portion of these chapters take place in the present time.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're kind of a weird hybrid, but they really truly are flashbacks probably simply because there is one main timeline versus I think if you are looking at time jumps, like true traditional time jumps, it's like here's the story and then we're jumping ahead like 5 years or a year or multiple years and then the next section of the book is that timeline. It doesn't go back to the original timeline. It just these are different timelines kind of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes more sense. So yeah, so I guess we should talk about what time jumps and flashbacks are. Maybe there are some people that don't know what they are.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, what how would you define time jump and a flashback?
Um, so I guess time jump would be similar to, like, what you were just saying, right? Like, where you're in a portion of time on the main timeline, and then all of a sudden you're jumping forward.
And you're
So,
staying there.
and you're staying there. So, like, your story has something that's happening, and then that moment ends, and
Mhm.
then you're basically sitting there and you're like, "Okay, well, for the next 2 weeks, there's nothing that's gonna happen in their life that's worth writing about." Um, so then you jump 2 weeks, and then you
Mhm.
continue the story from that 2-week standpoint, and you keep going
Mhm.
forward.
Yeah.
So it's moments of you're missing out on those moments, but they're not integral to the telling of the story that you're telling.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like the moments you're missing, like
Yeah,
the
I
weeks that you're missing.
I think I always thought time jumps were more of like big periods of time, and then
They
flashbacks
can
were
be.
like recalling back to specific moments in the past. So like again, that's why these chapters, while they are going to be a chapter and like their own chapters, while they're technically flashbacks, they are going to take up a bigger period of space from the written standpoint, but we never go back and live a long period of time chronologically consistently there. They really are just her thinking back to those moments, but we don't play it up as like, oh, this like apple triggered a memory of her being in this orchard, and then we get a whole chapter of the orchard or multiple chapters of the orchard. It's like, here's where things are at, flashing back to things at this specific moment in time before, and showing who they were, what this new world has truly cost, basically.
Yeah, so if we had gone with like the original idea,
Mm-hmm.
where just the first chapter was
Yeah.
whatever it was, that
Yeah.
would have been a time jump. That's what we would have
Sure.
considered that a
Yeah.
time jump.
Yeah, because it would
But
have been here for a period of time and then like X amount of time later, but like big amounts of time, like year plus kind of a thing.
But time jumps can be smaller amounts of time. Like if you're skipping out on let's see.
Like, I get what you're
So
saying of
in
moving forward, like, a couple days, weeks, hours kind of thing, but I don't think I've ever thought of that as, like, a time jump. Because it's just more of, like, a pacing of, like, if nothing integral to the story happened in that period of time, it shouldn't be in the story. But you're not moving so far into the future that, like, characters, world, things have changed a ton.
yeah, that's actually a really good I don't
Question.
know. Yeah. No, like, truthfully, because I always just assumed like a time jump just indicates like, and I'm not like talking about like the smaller time jumps of like an hour or a day, but like I
Mhm.
always assumed if it was like a week or more, that consisted
Mhm.
of a time jump because you're cutting out like
Mm.
a chunk of what's happening in their life at that current moment.
Yeah,
And that's
maybe
kind
we're
of how
talking
I
about,
always saw
like,
it, but
a minor time jump versus a major time jump? I don't know.
um,
Macro versus micro? I
we're,
don't We're just
we're
writing.
learning with you guys.
We're just
um
writers.
yeah, okay, so yeah, so time jumps changes from one moment to the next in a novel. Like you're in October and then suddenly you're in November of the next year.
Mm.
Stuff like that. That's going to be your time jumps. Your flashbacks, like Lauren was kind of talking about earlier, that's going to be a moment in time that you're going back to, but you're not staying there.
Mm-mm.
Your character, whoever your main character is, whether it's first person, focused third, or just third person in general, whoever we're following in this moment, that flashback is a memory. Basically, most of the
Yeah.
time, flashbacks are just memories
Mm-hmm.
that hold enough significance that you need the reader to actually have experienced it with them.
Yeah. And it has to hold significance. I think that's the critical component of flashbacks and just storytelling in general, is that if there is a scene in your book, no matter how much you love it, whether it's a flashback, a time jump, or just a regular scene, like if it does not actively move your story forward, it does not belong in your story. It can live in the writer's original cut, your director's cut that you make like for yourself, but like it doesn't belong there because it slows your pacing down. It doesn't help anyone understand your story better. And it's like, that's, I think, the important thing to remember with a flashback is that if it does not move the story forward, if it doesn't give you world building or character development for the audience to understand, or it's not something that, like, if they don't know this, they're going to be absolutely confused about this next part, like,
Yeah.
then yeah, I don't think it belongs there technically.
And the hard thing with flashbacks too is finding the medium in which to write the flashback. I know a really common one is italics.
Mm.
But it's also super common for italics to take a reader out of the moment.
Oh. Hmm.
If it's too much italics,
It's just
I
pages.
yeah, so
It's an entire
depends,
chapter of italics.
oh
That
gosh,
would be
yeah.
annoying.
Yeah, that would probably be a little frustrating. My eyes with yeah, no. If it's a small flashback, so say it's like
Mm-hmm.
an apple falls and it triggers a memory.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not a long memory. It's just a
Mhm.
short moment that you need the readers to understand that your character's maybe in a different headspace now.
Mhm.
Italics work really well because it
Mm.
instantly tells you that, like, hey, you're in the character's head now instead
Yeah.
of in the moment.
Yeah.
Um, Opposed to if you're going into it and all of a sudden you need this flashback of, like, say your character had something, like, severely traumatic when they were a kid,
Mhm.
and they've been blocking it out this whole time, but this has been the thing that's been pushing your character forward, the thing that's been changing your character. A lot of the times,
Mm.
if you're gonna have a longer scene like that, it's really good to separate it either by, like, if you like to do, like, page page separators, like,
Like the breaks,
n
the graphic breaks?
yeah, like, the graphic breaks are a really good way to do that, if you don't wanna start a new chapter, or starting a new chapter and then indicating within, like, the first few lines that you're in this flashback, um, because you need your readers to know that they're not where they were.
Mhm.
But if you continue that italic for, like, pages upon pages, you're going to pull your readers out of the story.
Well, and you could also do like the memory hits or like the smell brings back this memory or like there's things like writing wise that you can do to indicate as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say too, like I think another reason people have such a hard time with flashbacks or time jumps period is just because they're technically things that you could have sprinkled throughout your story through character development and world building. Like
It's
technically,
true.
a lot of them are, unless you're talking about, like, maybe this is a suppressed memory or, maybe there is an element where it's smaller. Like, if you can condense it, like what you were saying, Darcy, of, like, if it can be condensed and it's, like, this, like, smack in the face pivotal thing that I could just show you this snippet of, and you understand so much better than because of it versus, like, "Oh, I could have sprinkled this trauma or these things throughout the story, and then you would have totally understood without me needing to do a flashback." So that might be a question that's worth asking when doing flashbacks is there a way I can share this with the readers or that I can show this thing just through like the way that my character's interacting with the world or viewing things or the thoughts going through their head of like, oh, I remember when blah 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 had happened and this person did that thing and it sucked. And now I hate this
Yeah.
thing forever. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point too, 'cause, flashbacks, like you were saying, they're a gimmick within writing,
Mhm.
and you really only wanna use them, flashbacks and time jumps, you really only ever wanna use them if it's completely integral to the way you're telling the story.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, think about like The Godfather, right? Like The Godfather has massive time jumps between movies and then it has two timelines in the second one, right? Like there's
Mm.
the father who's passed on's timeline and then there's the son who's now the head of everything's timelines and they go back and forth in the second one. And they're fully their own individual timelines. Like they're fully developed. They run through the whole thing, and it's like they are integral to the story to be able to tell the story that they were trying to communicate. If they didn't have it, then you would only be following one story. There's no way you can do one full story and then one full story in the same movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, or, like, if you look at, any kind of, like, I mean, war story, if you look at any kind of story that takes place with, like, you're following around somebody who was in the military,
Mm.
um, the they're constantly sprinkling in micro flashbacks,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
it's a little bit and that's a little bit different, right? Because there's trauma there that causes these flashbacks to happen for this person
Mhm.
constantly. Um, so you're sprinkling in these micro flashbacks because that is integral to giving you an insight
Mhm.
into the way this character's head is constantly being jarred in this one
Well,
direction.
yeah, and I would say that's actually a really great example of both you should be doing character development, like these things should be character development, and then there are points where they should be flashbacks because like certain noises or certain images should instantly make the character act a certain way, whether they tense up or they turn away or they get angry or they get depressed or whatever. And then the flashbacks give the reader an understanding of why do they do that. But you should be seeing those reactions in the character when reading it, and then you get to know a little bit more of the why behind it as the flashbacks reveal the experience that happened. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
and
great
then
example.
Yeah, because a lot of the times with those two, you're not getting a flashback in the moment. You're just getting the character's reaction, like you were saying.
Yeah.
You're getting the flinch. You're getting the hand
Yeah.
going to the hip.
Yeah, the balloon pops and they freak out. The dog barks and they, turn really swiftly and like move people, like whatever happens.
And then but they're not like bombarding you with flashbacks until they
Mhm.
get to the one scene
The
that
one
has
that's
the
needed.
actual,
Yes.
yeah, that has like
Yes.
the full-fledged, in-depth, I'm
Yeah.
taking you back to this moment as to why this character is
Yes.
the way they are.
Yeah, honestly, actually, that would probably be a really good recommendation for us and for anyone who's writing flashbacks would be go watch some like military movies or go read military books, whatever level you're comfortable with as far as like violence and all of that stuff goes. But just that genre specifically, I think specifically that one probably does those really well, especially when dealing with like return like to civilian life versus being in the military of like, oh, not so yeah, maybe don't go watch Black Hawk Down. Like that might not give you like the quite what you're looking for. But like, maybe something more along the lines of like, I don't know, like American Sniper or something in that vein where it's like they've come back kind of a thing, because that will show you just very obviously what does it look like for someone who, and again, this is an extreme. This is talking about PTSD more so than anything else. So obviously your characters will be more like subdued or nuanced depending on what level of experiences they're having and what story you're writing. But like that gives you a really good example of like, we don't see why these characters flinch or respond or act the way they do for every single thing. We just know there's something or some things that have happened because they do those things. Like,
yeah, exactly. And even watching them too will give you a really good idea on like when it's done too
pacing.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like you'll get there's some that are done and they're done with the best intentions, but it's like, oh my gosh, I can't follow this story.
Yeah.
So it'll give you a really good way of like comparing and contrasting the stories that
Mhm.
you're able to stay in
Yeah.
and realizing how you can translate that into your stories.
Yeah. Yeah. I was not laughing at what you were saying. I just had a, I just had a flashback. I just had a memory of Zombieland. And when you're talking about flashbacks that may not have been done super well, and I know it's a comedy, so it's playing to that comedic factor, but there is a scene towards the end when Woody Harrelson's character like drops the bombshell, and this has been out for a long time, so spoiler, but if you haven't seen it, it's been a long time, so it's on you. And Woody Harrelson has been talking about this like dog he like lost in the zombie apocalypse. The way he's been referring to it makes everyone thinks it's a dog. And then he has a flashback memory and it was his son or whatever. And Woody Harrelson is wearing this ridiculous wig. And you're like, I think I'm supposed to feel sad about this, but I can't stop laughing at the way it's playing out because it's just kind of like, but it like that to me is an example within our genre. That to me is an example within our genre of like,
Yeah, no,
maybe not done
exactly.
great.
I don't know why I had to give him a wig for that. He could have just been a bald man when he had a kid. I don't know.
It's like, okay, did you watch what's the M. Night movie about superheroes? Unbreakable. Did you watch Unbreakable?
I have not, no.
Oh, okay. As a film person, you should definitely watch Unbreakable. I say that as a film person who has like too many movies that I should have watched by now. So I say that with all grace. But so who is in Unbreakable? It's like it's not Vin Diesel. It's like someone like that though. It's like a bald guy who's tall, who's very well known. Bruce Willis. Oh my gosh.
Bruce Willis. Okay.
So it's about Bruce Willis. Anyways, and Sam Jackson. Fantastic movie. Great recommendation. But Bruce Willis has a flashback scene. Again, this is another flashback scene that I don't necessarily think, if I remember the movie correctly, needed to happen. But it like flashes back to when Bruce Willis was like a kid in college and there was a car accident and he like wasn't harmed in it or whatever. And the character was literally, I think it was actually Bruce Willis with just a massive wig on, and you were like, what?
Oh, no.
Or it's like it was someone that was supposed to be young Bruce Willis, but he just had this massive amount of hair, and you were just like, what? Like, what happened? Where did it go? Like, I didn't need it.
Yeah, like you don't have to that takes you out of the story.
It did. Right, yeah. So again, referencing funny moments or flashbacks where it removes you from the moment of the story. And I know these are movie references and we're talking to writers, but
but they help. Because like what we were talking about with like the rom-com with like story beats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All of these are it's still written work that you're being able to
Yeah.
visually see. So
Yeah.
sometimes people are more visual learners.
Yeah. Same.
Uh, a really good example, in my opinion. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I could be wrong, and you can yell at me in the comments.
Eh, nicely. Yell nicely.
17 again. Um,
Wait, what moment from 17 again?
so there's a lot of flashbacks that are overlapped with everything within 17 again, because the dad's remembering moments from when he was that, like, even though he's like Zac Efron at the time, he's still remembering the first moments, like the
Yeah.
basketball scene, or he's remembering when
Oh.
him and his wife like hugged afterwards and they like
Yeah.
walk off together. I
Yeah.
think, although not necessarily fully integral to the way that the story has to be told, I think
Mhm.
they do it in a very tasteful way to where
Mm.
it pulls you into these moments, because of course he's going to be thinking about like his wife during
What
this
life
final
used to be.
basketball game again. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
because he got pulled back into being that person even though he's
Yeah.
in the current time.
Right. Yeah.
Um
Okay. Yeah, I
so
can see that.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like they did it really well with like layering it, and
Yeah.
that one's one where they've layered it throughout the entire movie.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and that's we're kind of doing something similar, not throughout the entire book, but the way we're structuring these, we'll call them flashbacks just for simplicity, but the way that we're layering these flashbacks is we're actually doing every other chapter to start, because the original idea, like Darcy said, was to have it all be one chapter, almost like a prologue, just to kind of get you in the like, we're rooting for these people. This is what happens. This is how the world turns upside down. Oh no. And then you jump into the story where they're at, just to give you more buy-in. But what we realized is that we needed more chapters to be able to tell that story. So what we are doing for us right now at this point for Unholy Vows, just to see if it works, is every other chapter for the first few chapters, we're telling like what happened X amount of time later. I'm trying to be good about this. Like where things are at in the timeline will follow, and then go back to what happened on that specific day, and then alternate those chapters. And I think the really nice thing about this is that it will actually give us a space where if it actually works better for it to start with that info, to build that relationship stuff and to build that buy-in and that rooting for it element that we're wanting to go for, we can just flip-flop the chapters. Like we can just drag the chapters in different
yeah.
spots, because at some point we'll leave that moment behind, and then we'll just follow, theoretically, we'll just follow the, the main timeline. So
Yeah.
I think that will actually set us up for success in the sense of like, if we get into it and we need to flip flop things, it makes it really easy to, because they're very distinct chapters and they're every other, versus like, I don't know, if we were to do it a different way, it would be trickier because it'd be baked into that scene and moment.
Right. And the cool thing about the way that we're doing it too is that we don't have to worry about how to flash back to this scene. Because if let's say we decided we wanted to just start in the thick of it.
Mhm.
It's however amount of time later, you know, yeah, we've already told you guys this, Gregory's a zombie, like
No.
Matilda's trying to live with that, like,
Yeah.
so we're already at that point. And then the other way that we could have done it was sprinkling in the moments of this scene that we keep
Hmm.
going back to. And
Yeah.
we could have sprinkled it in throughout, but a lot of the times, because of how much there is within this specific moment that we've
Yeah.
chosen,
Yeah.
the world building, the character building, the relationships, the why you should love these people,
Hmm.
because that's so integral to this moment,
Hmm.
we wouldn't have had enough space to
Hmm.
build in these small flashbacks. We had to give you these chapter-based flashbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's an element too of like we're balancing a really fine line with this element of also kind of sort of inventing the zombie rom-com genre of like, you know, how do we make you root for these people, this couple specifically, while also showing that things are like weird and hard and awkward, and also like before this things were beautiful and amazing and fun, you would have rooted for these people no matter what, kind of a thing. And so that's, I think, where we're trying to walk that fine balance of like, not that you wouldn't root for them now, but like now you might be like, I don't know. Because if you didn't
Yeah,
have
like,
that background, you'd be like,
You're kind of crazy.
Right. No, and that was some of the feedback we got from people for the torch that we were working on last year, was just talking about like, I don't know, I don't have the buy-in. I just feel like she's kind of like, why would you bother? And it's like, if we don't show that element of like who they were before, I get why people would be like, why bother?
Right. And just because we have like that prerequisite of the
Yeah.
nostalgia of you,
Mhm.
we want this book to be its own book. Like the nostalgia of you is a part of their
Yes.
story, but
Yes.
it's a prequel. It's something that technically should have come out after this story. My headphones just started playing music.
What? Oh, weird. There's no music on my end.
No, my Spotify just opened. I was
Oh,
like, what is happening?
wild. Matilda's trying to send you a song.
Maybe. The title was Drowning, so
Oh.
that's curious. Yeah.
I don't know. She's like, help. Come back and write.
Please. Even though the nostalgia of you is a prequel to the story and technically should have come out after this story.
Oops. My bad.
We wanted you to be invested first anyways, but like
We're learning
this
a lot,
story also
guys.
still needs to be able to stand alone, because
Yeah.
we want people to pick up, because the nostalgia
This
of
is
you
the story.
is the nostalgia of you, it says it right there on that first opening page. When you open this book up, right? It says an Unholy Vows novella.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to pick up Unholy Vows and know who everybody is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, like, I think that for us, we have to keep that in mind, is that Unholy Vows is the anchor. Like,
Yep.
the nostalgia view is great. It's an awesome, little story to read. It's a cute 43,000 word story. Like, it's like have the size of a novel. It's fun to take on vacation with you, or to just have a fun rainy Saturday cozied up with it. But Unholy Vows is like the meat of the story. Like,
Yeah.
the nostalgia view is their meet cute, and it gave us a better understanding of who the characters were or are. And so now going into into Unholy Vows, we have to be like, I assume that people will not have read the nostalgia of you going into this book, and that it will be something they pick up as an add-on and then can cry over, because you'll see.
Yeah.
But
man, I made myself so sad the other day.
oh, just we're all gonna be depressed writing this book. No, it'll be good.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a rom-com. It's supposed to be funny. Honestly, what we've got so
it's
far,
still
I'm laughing
cute.
over.
It's still cute. I've been putting in the cute stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Gregory's an absolute goob. He's so silly, guys. You're gonna love Zombie Gregory.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm getting to like, I'm trying not to like read over your shoulder. So when I pop in to do edits and I see you writing, I'm like, nope, not right now. Go out.
I saw you pop in yesterday. I was like, go away.
Yeah. I heard. I left. Yeah. Well, because I don't want there to be pressure. Even if I'm working on a different chapter, it's like I could technically peek on what you're writing, and I don't want to do that. I want you to be able to just write. So it's like, I'll pop back out.
That's okay.
It's fine. Yeah, we'll see once we get like 30 chapters in, and you're like, I'm like, edit.
And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah.
There's so many things happening.
It's all comments for now.
Yeah, at least it doesn't like jump my like page. And
yes. I'm like, oh my gosh. We ran into that so much with the nostalgia view, but anyways,
yeah,
we digress. That's kind of time jumps and flashbacks in a nutshell. So I don't know there's a ton more to talk about. We are just dipping our toes into that experience, but that's kind of what we're doing for our side of things, and what we're trying to keep in mind when writing flashbacks specifically.
Yeah, I think we kind of touched base a little bit more on flashbacks and time jumps, but I feel like time jumps, it's on the tin. It's a time jump.
Yeah. Well, and like from what I understand just from researching, I think, was it Fonda Lee?
Yeah, Fonda Lee, I think is her name.
Yeah, I think she had talked about, in some of the research I did, I think she talked about how time jumps need to be very distinct. So you need to like set the reader up by saying like, this is how the world is different. This is how the character is different. So like using language around like seasons, around the way that the environment specifically has changed, whether it's a city with new construction or things have gone out of business, or, physical character traits of like the character, was a baby and then now is in middle school, or now they're a grandpa, or, whatever that looks like, of being distinct with the way that you immediately set up the readers with understanding that this massive time jump has happened. But that's, again, just from my research. I haven't done time jumps at that level.
Yeah, and I think like one of the bigger things that she talks about as well from your research was if you're gonna do time jumps, if they like are a part of your story and the way that you're gonna play it, everything out, follow very distinct characters.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's
So
who you're here for. Like, in a good story, you're there for the character. I mean, I know sometimes, like for plenty of us read a genre because we really just enjoy the genre. But the reason you stick with a story is because of the characters. So it's like if like you're reading a historical account of something, you don't really care about the facts and the details and all that stuff. You're like, you will actually usually jump into enjoy like information about these crazy things that happen because you're like, whoa, that person did that, or they were like in this experience. Or like, think of Les Mis. Like, we all probably
oh,
learned about different revolutionary wars in Europe and America and all that stuff, depending on where you're from. Because I know we don't have just American listeners. But like you learn about the facts of those things, but then you watch or you read or you listen to something like Les Mis, and it's like, oh wow, this was rough. Because you're following
yeah,
these characters and you care about them. Because that actually is a good example of time jumps. Les Mis has a couple of time jumps in there.
yeah, a couple big ones.
Actually, maybe just
So
one big one, one massive one.
well, there's the one in the beginning, right, where like he's in prison and then he's not in prison.
Yeah, but I think that's where the time jump happens.
But
Or
isn't
maybe
there like
there's
another
two.
time? Yeah, I was gonna say isn't there one like towards the end, like when the war ends?
No, oh, I don't remember. I just remember
It's been a
there's like
minute.
the kids were little and then they were like all teenagers and like really wanted to be with each other. And then everyone
Right.
else was dying. Like it was
Yeah.
like, huh, all right.
Well,
Yeah.
ugh,
So,
Les
anyways, yeah,
Mis.
another great example of time jumping, but that's kind
Yeah,
of our limited knowledge on it since we aren't really doing a ton
working
of
on
that.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but kind of had to do with what we're talking about. So,
Yeah. So
anyways,
cool.
well, that's it
Alright,
for
well,
this week, I guess.
I guess so. Um, well, where can everybody find us, Lauren?
Yeah, so if you guys we're on pretty much all of the different platforms. So just pick your preferred platform and you will probably find us. We're on TikTok
Yeah.
and Instagram as Untitled Work In Podcast, and then we're on Instagram and Threads and Facebook as Misty Morning Stories. That's been there for a long time. I've just forgot to
Oh.
mention it.
I was like, we got a Facebook now?
I just weirdly started getting people like liking stuff on Facebook, and I was like, I forgot that this publishes to Facebook as well. I just like
Oh,
set it
no.
up forever ago. We also have a website, mistymorningstories.com. That is up and active. I am still working on getting some blog stuff up for it so that if you want to read instead of listen, you can do that, as well as to have the downloads that our guests have so kindly provided for us available for you guys on there as well. And then yeah, there's some other stuff I'm working on, but I won't say it now because I'm hoping to get it done, but I don't want to overpromise. There's too much
Fair
going
enough.
on. So, anyways, yeah, that's where you can find us. And Darcy has Instagram as I know it. I'm
Darcy.
trying to remember how to spell the last part.
Oh, my last name or my
Yeah, how do
my
you
last name.
spell you're on Instagram as what?
Yeah, so it's Darcy _ and then it's Michaela, which is Micaela.
Okay. I did have it right. I just hesitated. I was like, I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't want to miss
it's a little bit of a different spelling.
Yeah. I think it's just one of those names where there's like so many people that are like, I'm gonna spell Michaela unique. And so then you're like, oh, wait, is it? I don't know which version it is. I think I know at least 6 different spellings.
Yeah, so I think my parents did that specifically because my brother's first name is Michael, so he has the H.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think they didn't want it to look like
Yeah.
they just gave me his name.
That's smart.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It was also after a TV show character, Dr. Michaela MD or something like that. So
Was that character on like Grey's Anatomy or something?
no, she had her own TV show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's like Doogie Howser.
Yeah. Yeah. I always think that's funny though. I was like, I can't believe my mom named me after a TV character.
That's funny. Well, we name all our pets after.
That is true.
Yeah, so fun.
So.
Anyways, yeah, so that's where you guys can find us, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, you can contact us through Lauren's website as well. She's got a
Mhm.
little contact us tab
Mhm.
on the thing.
On the thing.
It's
I think
on
you
the
have a
thing.
website as well, too. Don't forget to plug that.
I guess I'll plug it. I mean,
All right, start over.
it's,
Do your Instagram and do your website. Start over. All right,
All right.
Darcy, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Darcy_Michaela, spelt Micaela.
Nice.
And I also have a website. It's
Yay!
yay. It's just darcymichaela.com. I got all the podcast stuff on there too.
Same.
So you can get a hold of us. We got a million ways for you to do it.
We're trying to be accessible in an appropriate way, obviously. I feel like I have to say that given how social media works these days, unfortunately.
Right.
But yeah, we are trying to be available on different platforms. So just honestly pick your favorite platform. We'll respond. You'll get one of us.
We will.
So pick your favorite person and pick your favorite platform.
Wait. Don't pick your favorite person. I'll have an aneurysm about it. You're going to give me a complex and not a good one because I know everybody's going to pick Lauren. Trust me.
No, not at all. Not hardly.
Are you Team Lauren or Team Darcy?
LOL. Kenan has already claimed me, so everyone's going to be Team Darcy.
Wait.
I'm already taken. Everyone go for Team Darcy.
Now you're going to give me a different kind of complex.
Well, there's no winning on this one. Wait, okay, this is totally random, but if Michaela was picked because of a TV character, was Darcy picked because of Pride and Prejudice?
No, actually.
Like two different characters right there.
That would be so funny. No, surprisingly enough, the name that's more memorable as a character name, Darcy, was just my original first name was going to be Tuesday. My dad really liked the name Tuesday. Yeah.
What? I still would have been friends with you, but what?
Right. Honestly, I think it might have been cool.
No, you should have made that your pen name. Tuesday Michaela. It also sounds like a band name, though.
It does, yeah. So,
and there's a movie called What Happened to Wednesday or something like that, or Monday. What happened to Monday?
yeah, that TV show on Netflix. And then there's Wednesday Addams.
There's Wednesday Addams, but there is What Happened to Monday. I think it was Monday. Is a movie.
Is it a movie or? I thought it was a show.
No, it's a movie.
Okay.
I watched it. It was good. It's
about the 6 tuplets, right? There's like 6 of them.
Yeah. Or 7. 7.
I
think there's 7. There's one for every day of the week. Yeah. So,
but, yeah. No, it's so funny though. When I was a kid, I used to get so mad that it was Mr. Darcy.
Oh,
I used to hate that. So I was like, it's my name. He can't have it.
Well, maybe you'll do one of those. Maybe you'll do like an Enola Holmes version of Pride and Prejudice. Just swap genders. Make it Mrs. Darcy and Mr. Bennett. I don't know.
Oh man,
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Well, just flip-flop it.
Something.
Yeah. There you go. That'll be your next story. Just add it to the queue. 12 stories down. You're like,
right. I have too many right now.
Yeah.
Unholy Vows is the focus.
Yes. I feel like all writers have like a queue of ideas, and like there's the thing that they're working on, and then there's the side piece that they like go to when they're like writer's blocked, kind of a thing, which is a terrible analogy. But then there's like, ideas that you like write down and you're like, I'll come back to you at some point.
Yeah. Just a fun little tidbit. The TV, well, it started out as a movie, true crime rom-com.
Oh, the one that we were talking about.
Yeah. We talked about way back when. Okay,
I thought you were talking about like one that you're watching. I was like, I have no idea what's on your algorithm, Darcy.
No. For my side projects, like my to be done list.
Yes, the dark rom-com.
I was sitting there the other day, and I have fully like in my brain. I haven't written it down because I was just sitting there. I have fully mapped out the 4-season stretch of it being a TV show.
Oh, look at you planning.
Yeah, I knew you'd be proud of me.
Nice, I love it. Oh, the plan. I mean, you can go either way. It's fine. But planning is so handy.
I guess so.
I don't know.
I'll give you that one, I guess.
I don't know. I like planning, but then again, I like organization.
I'm very type B, and it's very bad for my health.
Ooh, I don't even know what type B is. What is a type B? I know what type A is, but
so type B is very much like, oh gosh, I don't even know, like way less organized, more
okay.
chaotic. Object permanence isn't a thing.
Oh, wow.
Like it's basically type A and type B are very much like pantsers and planners. Type A is a planner, type B is a pantser, but in life.
There you go. So
There
just
you go.
pantsing and planning your way through life. That's all.
There you go. I'm
Nice,
not pantsing my way through life.
On that note.
On that note, just remember, guys, everybody's a work in progress. It's a process. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.